Hi! It's not by accident that you're here. I have done it! I've done it too! I've read this amazing book, like many of you possibly, and if you have not, please read it. It's a good starting point. But this is a journey to get to know him. I want to encourage you to just keep pressing on with this topic, because you're gonna see breakthrough if you keep pressing in, and if you don't let go, and if you don't give up and listen to wrong voices. So I share a little bit of my story. I am mom of two daughters, two amazing daughters now. I've heard so many things like you possibly too, where people said that birth is something difficult, it's painful, all these fear voices and these lies. From my upbringing, I heard many times that I was the oldest child and I was difficult to be born. Apparently, many hours went by during the birth, so this took a long time for the first birth, and that's what I've always heard around me. People say first birth is very long. So I read this book, and they're sharing really well about taking steps and not to dash out, to carefully consider what you have the faith for. And my husband and I, we started wondering what would be good, where should we birth, and we realized, we knew that at the time that atmospheres are so important. And I tell you as well, they are so important. When you go out, you feel atmospheres all around you and you're affected by them. If you're not in Him and if you're not strong in Him, and you can go ahead, go to hospitals. For me at the time it was not the right thing. We went and visited, and I almost signed up for it. And then we went to a midwifery place where you can birth with midwives, and also that didn't seem right. I just wanted something more with Jesus. I really want to see Him come through in every circumstance, and see Him as my deliverer, see Him as my Savior, see Him as the one who actually is within me and is powerful enough to save me from anything that might possibly go wrong. So we started the journey to trust Him, that we can birth at home with a midwife. And so we looked online for a midwife, and we found one, and it was amazing with her. The waters broke as I prayed beforehand for a sign that because it was the first time ever I gave birth, I didn't know how it all would go and how it all fails and etc. So I prayed that I would have my waters break first, and they did. They really did first. I woke up at 3:30 with my waters breaking in the morning, and then we carried on going to the bath, and I called the midwife to inform her it's soon going to start. So around 5, and then it became more regular, the contractions, etc. And then we called her, you need to really come, it's taking off. So she came and she checked, and she said that I was only 2 centimeters dilated. So I was a little bit devastated. I was thinking, oh no! It was already quite, well, it was quite hard work, and I was thinking, what? I hoped and I prayed for pain-free birth, but I knew I was afraid of every next contraction, so it didn't work like that for me. So we kept pressing in, and the midwife went, because we felt uncomfortable just to pray in tongues and worship and loving Jesus, enjoying Him and making Him the center and putting our trust in Him and not being distracted by someone else sitting in the room. So she went, and she said, oh, it could be that you carry on till afternoon. And I was thinking, no, I don't want that. An hour without her went by, and then around 8:30 they became very much stronger, and before they got stronger I prayed and I cried out to God, Father, I asked for short birth. I want you to make it shorter for me. Please do something. In the spirit I just felt to do something, so I just kind of, it sounds maybe funny, but it's in the spirit that things make no sense sometimes to our logical brains. So I felt to put the salt down. So I just acted this out. I kind of put the salt out. And from that on, very moment, that started to become stronger, the contractions, and they kept on coming. And I knew I couldn't go for much longer. The baby's gonna come soon. So we called the midwife, please come very quickly, because something has changed. So she came, and as she came, I really felt already the urge to push. So, but I didn't know any better, and I trusted her completely, the midwife, to tell me what to do. So she told me not to push, and she checked me out, and she said I think I was 8 centimeters dilated, and she said not to push, and it was so difficult to suppress that urge to push, and that completely threw me off, and also didn't exactly strengthen me in what I was doing. Later on, at one point, she checked out the baby's heart rate and suddenly panicked and said the heart rate is very slow, and we just prayed in tongues out loud, and we just said no, that can't be. My husband started talking to the girl that would come out, and then it just shifted, and I started breathing more deeply down, and it shifted all from that moment. And when we started to like battle in faith, in the spirit again. So it was a constant fight at birth, but she came out, and she came out at 10:07. About 6 hours only took. Not even 6 hours, because the real contraction started around 5, 6 in the morning. So that was the first story. So I got both that I asked for. With God, I had faith for short birth, which it was, without complications, fast home birth, and I also got what I asked for, that the waters broke before it all started. God was so faithful, and we rejoiced. It was such a beautiful birth. It all set up before our fireplace, and the fire was burning, and outside it was very stormy day. That was how it looked. It was very stormy, but it was beautiful inside. It was warm, cozy, and God did what he did, and it was amazing. It showed me that he was very much capable, and we didn't have to fear. The thing is, during the birth, I had a few times a fear of pain. I was very not relaxed, and that didn't help and made it worse, the pain. I realized after the birth that I wanted the next birth to be maybe pain-free, but I want to have the priority set on having a peaceful birth, a birth without any fears. And I asked God for that. Okay, she's almost sleeping again. No? Oh. So, yeah, that was the first birth.